Welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm doing a $500 buy-in at the 2-5 game at none other than Hamul Casino. Feels good to be back. Feels like I haven't been here forever. The first hand I pick up is Ace-10 of Hearts on the button. The cutoff opens to 20. I elect to just make the call. This hand could definitely be 3-bet, but I'm just getting settled in, and I don't want to go too crazy, too fast until I get a feel for the table. We head to the flop, 9-7 jack, and 8 will give me a straight, and the cutoff continues to bet out 30. I'm just going to make the call. The turn is the 9 of spades. It looked like an 8 for a second, but it pairs the board. I don't imagine my opponent has a 9 in his hand since he opened pre-flop. The only ones that he would have are 9-10 suited, 9-8 suited, and Ace-9 suited, but there's only the Ace-9 of clubs left in the deck. He continues betting the ship 60 into the middle of the pot. And I think this is my time to strike if I'm going to have a chance of winning this pot. And since I have all the 9s, I make it 200. My opponent doesn't waste much time at all before putting in another 140, making the call 507 already in this pot. And I have absolutely nothing. Luckily, the river comes the ace of diamonds, pairing my ace, giving me what could be the best hand. But my opponent is putting the pressure on me, bets $350 worth of greens. Though I've already put half of my stack in and I only have 250 left, I just don't see myself being good, especially if he's firing out again on this ace. So I'm going to make the disappointing fold. And I'm glad I did because he flips over an Ace-9 offsuit open with that. You can tell it's going to be a crazy table today. I top back off back to 500, in for $750 now. And I pick up pocket queens in the low jack. Folds around to me. I open to 15. The cutoff is the only player that wants to come along. 37 in the pot, and the flop comes out 8 jack 7. My queen is still the overpair on the board. It feels great not to see an ace or a king. And I'm going to continue betting 3/4 pot size bet due to the connected nature of the flop. The cutoff comes along 87 in the pot. And the turn is a 2 of diamonds. 3 diamonds on the board, but I do have the queen of diamonds just in case another diamond comes on the river. I'm not going to let off the pressure yet. There's still a lot of hands I can extract value from. I make it 55. And the cutoff makes the quick call. The river is the 8 of hearts. I'm just going to bluff catch on this card. If you remember last episode, the 8 on the river killed me. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I check to my opponent. He checks right back. I flip over my hand, and it's going to be good. Scooping my first pot of the night. 602 on my stack. On a little bit of a comeback because I pick up pocket kings on the button next hand. The undergun player limps. It folds around to me, and I put in a bet for 20. The big blind calls. The undergun player calls as well. 3 ways to the flop. 62 in the pot. And it comes out 3 jack king, top set on the board. Once again, if you remember my last video, it's very hard to extract money from players when you have the top set on the board. I would rather have a set of 3s here. When the action checks to me, this is a safe enough board that I feel comfortable checking behind. Queen 10 is the only hand I'm really scared of. And this is usually a dangerous strategy, so I don't like saying it, but I'm going to try to let these players catch up a little bit, or maybe one of them will get some courage and attempt to bluff. The turn comes out the 7 of diamonds. This time when it checks to me, I have to protect my hand. I have to protect the pot. And so I bet a large $50 bet, crossing my fingers, hoping that someone will come. And the undergun player does come along, puts 50 in the pot as well, 162. And the river comes a 5 of diamonds, a clean run out for my pocket kings, basically the nuts. I'm not worried about 6-4 whatsoever. The undergun player checks to me. He was willing to call 50 on the turn, which is about a pot size bet. So I'm going to go for another pot size value bet. I make it 150. And he tosses his hand away. If you're enjoying this video and would like to support the channel, a thumbs up would mean a lot. It really helps expose my videos to new viewers. Let's get back to poker. 694 in my stack, and I pick up pocket 3s on the button once again. The hijack opens to 20. I'm going to call and set mine as I usually do. Everyone else folds. We're going to the flop, and it's 3-6-6. I flopped a full house. I can't believe it. I'm begging that he has an overpair or a 6. He's going to continue betting. He makes it 20, and I'm laying low. Being sneaky, I make the cool call. We're headed to the turn. It's the 7 of diamonds. Now 7-6 beats me, but there's only 2 combinations of 7-6 suited. Not worried about it at all. The hijack slows down and checks to me. I'm going to continue firing, though. I make it 70, which might be just a little bit too big. Let me know what you think about that bet. And the villain makes a fold. 741 in my stack. Lose it down just a little bit to 669, and I pick up pocket deuces in the low jack. Action folds to me. I make it 15. The cutoff comes along. The button throws in 3 reds. The small blind defends. 65 in the pot. 4-way action to the flop. And it's deuce 9 jack. Another set. I am really starting to heat up. There are 2 spades, and the 9 jack is somewhat connected. So when the small blind checks to me, once again, I'm going to go for a rather substantial bet. I make it 40. And the cutoff comes along. The button makes the call, and the small blind calls 225 already in this pot. And the turn comes the king of clubs. With this many players calling, Queen 10 is a real possibility. So when the small blind checks to me, I decide I'm going to check as well. Curious to see what the cutoff and button does. And the cutoff stacks out greens and reds, puts 225 in the middle of the pot. The button gets out of the way. The small blind folds. I, of course, am not going to go anywhere. I make the call. And the river comes out the 9 of hearts, pairing the board. Another full house. Now I'm pretty darn sure I have the best hand. Have to be a little wary of Jack 9, King 9, pocket jacks, pocket kings. But I'm frankly not scared of those at all. I'm willing to stack off at this moment. And I'm not going to give them the opportunity to check behind. I ship my whole stack in, 385 to go, 1060 in the pot. This is shaping up to be a monster. I just have 2 wishes. The first is that he calls. The second is that I hold. My first wish comes true. He tosses in a chip, making the call, 1445 in the pot. This is one I have to win. I flip over my hand. My hand is going to be good. My opponent shows King, Queen of diamonds, made a very light, loose call in the end, hoping that I had a worse king. But it worked out for me because now I'm sitting with 1449 in my stack. Almost have doubled my original buy-in. It's amazing how quickly things can go both up and down at a 2-5 game. Let's just take a moment and enjoy these chips being shipped my way, waves and waves of them. The color of these chips just can't help but remind me of Christmas, and it feels like Christmas. It takes me a while to get these chips stacked. I grab a rack to color a 500 red, and I get dealt another hand. I get Queen 8 of hearts in middle position, 1390 in my stack. Once again, I open the action when it folds to me to 15. The low jack makes the call. The small blind defends, 3-way action to the flop, $50 in the pot, and it comes out King, Ace 7, 1 heart. I'm ready to give this one up, but action checks through. I'm going to see a free turn card, and it's the 10 of hearts, a perfect card. Breathing life into my hand, I pick up a 10 of equity. A jack gives me a straight. Another heart gives me a very strong flush, but I still have nothing. I'm not going to go crazy with it. The small blind bets 25. I make the call. The low jack folds out of the way, and we head to the river. It's a 3 of hearts, so I have the second nut flush, and my opponent is bleeding into me. He throws 3 greens out, $75 to call. I only lose to one hand. He can't have Ace 10 of hearts. He can't have Ace King of hearts. He can't have Ace Queen of hearts. And I have a feeling if he had Ace X of hearts, he would have bet more on the turn. So I'm going to put in a raise for value. I make it.
Can you move those over a little bit?
Yeah, so I just have been playing it every hand.
I'll hold it. I understand.
Yeah, that's my apologies.
But you can still have your chips in front of you.
200.
Well, I just,
Instead of my arm.
I mean, I haven't even had a second to take them out of the rack. Just give me a second.
I make it 200. But unfortunately, the player to my left decided this was the perfect time to start a conversation with me while it was my decision on the river in a decent-sized pot. When I'm at the table, I follow 2 rules when it comes to talking to people. The first is I never talk to someone when they're in a hand. If I'm having a conversation, if they throw money into the pot, I say, I'll let you play the hand, and I shut my mouth. The second rule that I always follow is I never have a conversation across the line of play between 2 players. So if I'm in the 1 seat and a player's in the 3 seat playing a player in the 8 seat, I'll never talk to the 5 or 6 seat while they're in a hand. I can whisper to my player to my left. But basically, don't do what this guy just did. It's really rude. But as I was saying, I make it 200, and unfortunately the small blind's hand is not strong enough to make the call. He tosses it away, but I'm scooping another one, 1525 in my stack, and it's chipped away down to 1370. No interesting hands worth going over, just small losses, missing the flop, you know the drill. And I pick up pocket 10s in middle position. Pocket pairs have been excellent for me today. And so when the under the gun player bets 15, I'm definitely going to put in a 3-bet. I make it 40. Could have gone a little bit larger. That's not going to scare anyone out of the pot, especially not the original better. The middle position player makes the call. The under the gun player throws in 25 to complete 127, 3-way action headed to the flop. And it's deuce 10 jack. Oh my gosh. Is today my lucky day or what? Middle set on the board, praying that someone has a jack. I also have to defend against king queen. So when the action checks to me, I bet a half-size pot bet of 75. And unfortunately, once again, this table is playing pretty well, folding to my bets when I have something strong. Both players toss their hand away. I'm scooping another one. And I'm just wondering, what other big hands am I going to hit tonight? 1457 in my stack, and I pick up ace queen offsuit on the button. The middle position is open to 15. The cutoff makes the call. I'm going to put in a 3-bet on the button with probably the best hand. I make it 60. And only the middle position player wants to call. We're headed to the flop, and it's 8-3 queen. Top pair on the board. Hardly any draws possible. So when the middle position player checks to me, I'm going to check as well. Give him a free card. The only one I'm really worried about seeing is a king. But it comes out a deuce of diamonds. This time when the middle position checks to me, I don't give 2 free cards away. I barely ever give 1. I bet a 1/3 pot size bet of 50. And 50 is going to do it. Scooping another pot, 1539 in my stack, and I pick up pocket 5s in the hijack. The middle position player opens at 15. I, of course, am going to make the call. The cutoff makes the call, 52 in the pot. 3-way action in the flop, and it's king, 8 queen. No 5. I'm ready to toss my hand away, but once again, I get a free card. Everyone checks through, and the turn is a 5 of diamonds. Absolutely incredible. Sometimes you're just running hot. I've been waiting for this session. I've had some really rough ones, multiple losing sessions in a row. But that's how poker goes. Sometimes you're getting your face slammed in the dirt. Other days, you're eating grapes in your castle on the Italian countryside. And today seems to be my day. I bet 25 into the pot. The cutoff makes the call. The middle position player does as well. No one wants to go anywhere. The river is the 6 of clubs. With 2 players in the pot and a king and a queen on the board, I'm sure I can get a call out of one of them when I toss in 100. Unfortunately, once again, all the players fold, making the correct folds. Maybe they know I'm on a little bit of a heater. Maybe they just don't have much. Maybe they missed their draw. But I'm scooping another pot. 16-26 in my stack. Lose it down to 15-84, and I pick up 10-9 of diamonds in middle position. I open the action at 15. The low jack calls. The hijack makes the call. The button comes along as well. And then the small blind wakes up for the first time today with a monster, I'm assuming, because he 3-bets to 85. Maybe he's squeezing. 10-9 does have some playability. But I'm not willing to put in $70 more to see the flop. I toss that one away. 15-69 in my stack, and I pick up ace-queen offsuit under the gun. There's a button straddle on the pot. Once again, I open the action to 35. Never limping is the right way to go. If you don't have a hand worth raising, you should just get out. The middle position player calls 35. The hijack throws out 7 reds. The small blind defends. The button throws in another green. 179 already in this pot. 5-way action going to flop. Looking to connect with my ace. Looking to hit a queen. I've been on fire, so I'm expecting to, but 6 jack 6 comes out. And the small blind leads into everyone for 110. It's a substantial bet. I'm definitely not going to continue, especially with 3 players behind me. I make the fold. 15-44 in my stack, and I get tossed ace-king offsuit in the hijack. Love to see it. Last vlog, I made a questionable fold with this hand. I still stand by it, although a lot of you guys don't like it. The middle position player limps. I toss in 20, but for some weird reason, a 5 just falls straight down. A player reaches across and kicks it back, saying that it's not eligible. A lot of other players come to my defense, saying I tossed it in, it just happened to fall. The dealer agrees with them. The player to my right throws the chip in. The 20 plays. We all know what was happening. The cutoff was just trying to get to the flop cheap. Not going to happen this time, buddy. He's still coming along, though, makes the call. The middle position player makes the call. 67 in the pot, 3-way action on the flop. And it's 6 queen 3, 2 diamonds on the board. I'm holding the ace of diamonds, and I have 2 overs on the board. I'm just going to check through, though, and the cutoff makes it 60 with my backdoor nut diamond draw. My backdoor straight draw and 2 overs. I think I can see the turn with this one. I make the call, 187 in the pot, and the turn comes a 2 of spades, a complete blank, not improving my hand at all. So I check to the cutoff. This time he throws in 6 greens for $150, and I have no choice but to toss my hand away. This is probably bad logic, but when I get very lucky in a session, and I realize that in order for me to get equally as lucky in the rest of the session, it's going to take a miracle, I usually say to myself, let's just get out of here while you still can with these chips. I'm in for 750, more than I originally wanted to be in for. So that's what I do. I rack on my chips and take them to the cage to turn them into cold hard cash, in for 750, out for 1428, for a profit of $678. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Kato out.